Hi Pisces! Thanks for stopping by the Swedish Dharma Tarot. My name's Christina. I'm a Swedish-Australian psychic, medium, healer, artist, and vagabond. I think I'd have to call myself as well. Completely new on YouTube. This will only be my second reading for Pisces. Lucky me if you're tuning in for the second time. As you all know, with these general readings, if it doesn't resonate, go to another reader or choose another sign to look at. So a lot of us who watch these also look at our rising or ascendant signs. That tells us a lot about how we are perceived in public. Or we can also check out our moon sign. The moon in our horoscope says a lot about how we function emotionally. Venus is interesting too. As a woman, in a woman's horoscope, it tells us a lot about how she projects her femininity. It also tells us about, in both men and women's charts, what the person loves, what they like. And in a man's horoscope, it says a lot about the type of woman he's attracted to. Here is money. I think I made the mistake last week of saying somewhere that Mars tells him, I probably said it several times, that Mars tells us a lot about our money. It doesn't. It's Venus that tells us about our money. But Mars, on the other hand, tells us about our capacity for work and the capacity for bringing it all in. Our Mars is all about something very karmic going on with Pisces and money. We'll look at that soon. Mars in our horoscopes tells us about the fundamental energy resource that we can access. So a Mars in Cancer, for example, will be very different to a Mars in Virgo. You can check it out yourselves. It's very interesting though. I have noticed, both while rehearsing in front of the camera and doing the last 12 readings, that Spirit is very specific. So sometimes it seems like they're just, well, not sometimes, they seem to be talking to the one person. For Sagittarius, they spoke to both a man and a woman separately. But my job is just to convey what Spirit wants to say. I don't want to sit and judge and say, oh no, that's no good, oh no, nobody wants to hear that. I just tell you what I see. I'm a human, so I can make wrong interpretations. That's another thing. Let's see, Spirit, what would you like to tell Pisces for the coming week? I have no idea what the dates are. I think maybe it's from the 12th to the 19th. It should be. Anywho, it'll say it on the video. All right, let's see. I should have put them back in. Sorry. Indecision's never good. I have my ascendant in Libra. So, here we go. So you will interpret me as indecisive, but I'm not. Just sometimes. All right, Pisces. The cards I work with are called the Goddess Tarot, and they are made by an American artist called Chris Walter. And they are magic and fabulous, and they've taught me everything I know. And I don't like to digress when I'm working, at least. I do it for fun and I do it for practice. But when I'm working, I like to stick with this tarot deck. They have, like I said, taught me everything I know. All right. I think I'm talking to a Pisces man today. Not think, I am talking to a Pisces man today. This man is in a pretty bad state, unfortunately. but things are starting to clear for you. I'm so glad to be able to say that. It might not be directly to him that this message is coming, but it also could be. But I see his woman and I see his family. I think this man has a problem with possibly alcohol, but more probably with money. Maybe he's a compulsive gambler. I'd like to tell you that one of the work themes that I've been delegated has to do with dependency and codependency. So in my readings, you will hear that quite often. Also, I have a working theme of psychic health, which of course they come in the same parcel a lot of the time. Things are starting to clear up for this person's work. He might have lost his job. I'm so sorry to say. That there have been problems in the workplace because of his addiction. Now that doesn't sound like money. It does sound more like alcohol or drugs. His family suffered a lot. And he's been in denial, of course. And here comes the karma card that fell out. The Two of Cups. I've learned from a good colleague or good friend and colleague who said, that's my karma card. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. And then I started to look in my own readings, and sure enough, it works for me as well. So the whole situation with this man and his family and his work is all very karmic. And of course, him being in denial, that's part of the disease. That's just the way it works, that the last person to realize that they're an alcoholic is the alcoholic. Everybody else learns that much earlier. So he's in a very unhappy space, and he's in a very passive space. I see that he has a family, a woman who stands with her feet firmly planted on the ground, a caretaker, and she's had to take a lot of responsibility for the children and the family life. And she's getting rather tired. I can see that. It's exhausting to have to carry the weight of a relationship on your own, because the other half of the relationship has problems. There's not a lack of love here. This man is very loved. This father and co-worker and husband is very loved, but he needs to take responsibility for his situation. And I think, I'm talking to his wife. And from what I can see, and that's the whole point of it all, I saw here earlier that he doesn't have any insight. He has no understanding, let alone acceptance of his sickness, but it's coming. And that's where the cards end up, that this man is on his way into a completely new life cycle. We normally have them every 7 years. Some of us work on 9 years, so you have to check your age and count backwards. And then you can often see a pattern as well. What happened when I was 28, 21, 14, etc. He's going to get help, and he's going to get good help. So I think there's all possibility of this family getting on their feet again. Thank you, Pisces. Or Pisces' wife. As a cross-watcher this time. I've never spoken of cross-watchers before. But we're many. I check out my friends. So let's see what Spirit has to say. Today, or this week, I'm using not the Goddess Tarot only, but Goddess Guidance, Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue. They look like this on the back. You've probably all seen them. And they're a gift from my soul sister, Julia, in Australia. So it's an honor and a pleasure to be able to use them here on YouTube. yoga. Abundantia, prosperity. The universe is pouring its abundance out to you. Be open to receiving. There's a problem for those of us who are codependent. I say us because I've grown up with an alcoholic father. So per definition, when you leave home, you're codependent. But if you're aware, then you can work with it. And I try my very best. But one of the things that happens to the codependent person is that they want to help, but at the same time they feel like they're a victim. So I understand this message in that sense. That's how I want to take it. To have faith, dear cross-watcher, and trust in the universe that they're going to take care of things, and you will feel abundant in time. When you see your husband's progress, you won't doubt anymore. I also use a yogic path. Wonderful deck of cards made by or written. The artist is a different person and I can't remember her name. But Sahara Rose is the person that has written the text. And we find everything in here, from Indian deities to Ayurveda to spirituality, chakras, and asanas, yoga. So let's see what Spirit wants to tell you, dear fish friend, or rather the cross-watcher of the fish friend. Sita. She came up for somebody last week as well, I think, but I don't remember what she means. — 109. Oh, goddess of devotion and loyalty. And I have to say before reading further, there is nobody more devoted or loyal than a codependent partner. So there are fine qualities here as well. You've devoted your entire self to a person or project, and your loyalty cannot be questioned. Even in the face of harsh treatment, you have endured in the name of love. Endured in the name of love. Sita remained loyal to her husband Ram, despite being told he was dead, and when another king wanted to marry her. When her husband returned, he didn't believe her fidelity. She said, "If I'm telling the truth, I will jump into this fire and will not be burned." She stepped into the fire, untouched, proving that she was indeed loyal. You don't have to go that far. Sita understands how much you truly care and the sacrifices you've made. You've displayed selfless devotion, which is one of the most holy things we can do. In serving those you love, you serve the divine. Well, I say thank you and amen. But please, dear cross-watcher, it's also important to take care of you. But thank you for your work, for love, and in love and spirit. Thanks, Pisces. Welcome back another time.